All right, everyone, we've got some scuttlebutt, actually, between the Biden and Harris campaigns, if you can call them that, the Biden administration, the Harris campaign. It seems like there's a little bit of a civil war, actually, brewing. I believe this. Normally, when you get, like, unconfirmed reporting, and they're like, you know, an anonymous source says, I tend to ignore it, because, generally speaking, the anonymous source is bullshit. But if you were to tell me that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris genuinely disliked one another, I would believe it completely. I know that Jill Biden dislikes Kamala Harris, and I can tell you exactly why. She feels like her husband is the strong man around town, and he don't need no bitch other than her, other than Jill Biden, of course, to have his back. I think that she's very, very upset about the fact that the Democratic Party effectively forced him to take up a female running mate, especially one who is of ethnic origin as opposed to an Anglo-Saxon. Jill Biden is a racist. She's an old plantation mom, and she doesn't like the fact that that occurred. Joe Biden, I think, is a little bit more ambivalent. He's more like, well, you know, whatever gets me elected, basically. I don't give a fuck. Jill Biden, though, is a little bit different. I can read her like a goddamn book. She's just like Hillary Clinton or Elizabeth Warren. She's one of these old liberal housewives that thinks, man, my man can do no wrong effectively. I've got his back. And that's partially to her credit. Politically speaking, it can be a little bit of dead weight because you have that reluctance to embrace progress, or, you know, whatever the hell the Democrats are going to call it next. And we see this. We know this. We've got pretty good evidence that this is actually a true thing. So when they talk about a Biden-Harris civil war, so Biden's people and Harris's people, they're constantly locking horns and they can't coordinate with one another. I believe that. I believe that that's true, ultimately. I believe that it's true. The reason is because we've got that at least anecdotal evidence from a number of years that you have problems in the White House currently with coordination. We had a story a couple of years ago, for example, that Kamala's staffers, the people that work directly with her, they couldn't stand Biden's staffers. And Biden had to pull rank and be like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? I'm the president of the United States. Shut the fuck up. It appears that that has happened on a number of different occasions. I actually believe it. Normally, I wouldn't believe those anecdotal, semi-anonymous claims. In this particular instance, though, I'm inclined to believe that it's 100% true. I can't think of a situation in which Kamala would want to play second fiddle to another person. And I can't think of a situation in which Biden would want to play second fiddle to another person. Therefore, they probably spar on a regular basis. Behind closed doors, I don't think that it's the love fest that people imagine. They think Joe and Kamala, they're basically fucking. These people love each other. No, they don't. Joe Biden loves his wife, and his wife fucking hates Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris doesn't give a shit about anybody but herself, and probably tries to undermine him on a regular basis. I mean, it's not exactly confusing to see why this would be the case. She's an egotist. She's blind for power. And so she acts accordingly. With Joe Biden, he's out to lunch. He doesn't really know what he's doing, but still in his mind, he's a strong, powerful man. He's still Senator Biden, and it's 1975 or something like that. Jill placates him on that token and stands behind her man. Again, much to her credit, honestly. And this has been happening now for a number of years. We know that Joe Biden is out to lunch. We know that Kamala is an evil egotist. I mean, there's no confusion over that. It's quite self-evident. You couldn't find two archetypes of people. The formerly strong, now struggling man, who's from the 70s and shit, the 60s and 70s. He's got all of those views that you would have back then. And the young-ish, upstart black woman You couldn't have a more weird dynamic, actually. It would be impossible to fathom a situation in which you would have weirder bedfellows, actually. And by bedfellows, I don't mean that they're fucking. I think that both of them are a little bit... They've gone out to sea on that. I don't think that Joe can get it up, and certainly he wouldn't be able to get it up for Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, meanwhile, is an ice queen. She probably hasn't had sex in the last 10 years. It's just the dynamic. It's just the way that they work. These people hate each other, actually. They have to work together for politically pragmatic purposes, but they don't even like one another. I guarantee that they don't like one another. Jill Biden especially, she fucking hates Kamala Harris. You know it, I know it, Jill Biden knows it, Kamala Harris definitely knows it. It's basically, you know, you were the diversity hire vice president. The only reason that you were even hired for this role is because you happen to be 20 years younger and you happen to have a different skin color. That's the only reason you were chosen. Jill, and to an extent Joe, I think hold this against her. I wouldn't be surprised if she was pissed off. Hell, I'd be pissed off too. Shit, the only reason I even have this job, I'm second in command of the executive branch of the United States, but the only reason that I'm here is because of my skin color, and because of what's between my legs. Very, very intriguing. And that's exactly what happened, by the way. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is effectively fact. This is canonical. I mean, you can't make this up. It's like a running joke. A political running joke is basically the entire administration. That's about all. Peace out.